Hello, it's me, Ariza Gaming. How you doing today? I'm doing all right. I'm feeling better. I had a fever at the weekend, so I wasn't around on Monday, unfortunately. But I'm going to be doing something on Wednesday instead. So yes, hello me, Ariza Gaming. Hello Neo, you doing well? We're doing all right. Whiskers is doing all right. Fish and frogs have seen better days. The two misbehaving fish are back in the frog tank at the moment. And I think they're going to be semi-permanent residents from now on, to be honest, because the other fish, I think the Danios in particular, aren't really leaving them alone. So they get to hang out with the frogs from now on. Yes, we're back. We're going to do some Dyson Sphere Program today. So let's load into the game. Now, last week, I guess. Hold on, where's the game? There's the game. Yeah, last week we set up interstellar logistics towers with the logistics vessels. So we now have spaceships flying between all of our planets, delivering titanium, hydrogen fuel cells, wind turbines, solar panels, that sort of stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and set up a proper production line on the desert planet for buildings, like regular buildings. Like these smelters, the mining machines, assembly machines, these sorts of things. So that we can just go and collect a big bunch of them at once. And what we're going to do is a bit different than our normal production. Instead of like trying to make a fixed flow rate of products like we have with the wind turbines, the solar panels, and all the other stuff we're doing for the science, we're gonna just have like a belt full of each basic material. Like you need like iron, stone, circuit boards, and magnet coils to make smelters. We're just gonna have a belt of each of those, and we're gonna have one assembly machine churning out each type of building. And then over time they'll make them so we can just go back and collect a stockpile when we need them. We don't need to produce like 30 smelters a minute, because eventually we're just going to end up with a massive surplus of smelters. So yeah, should be a pretty interesting side project today, and one that will be handy, because eventually we can put those on a interstellar tower as well and start shipping those wherever we want them. So yes, let's go find the desert planet and set up. We're still researching all these techs in the meantime to make our logistics vessels better. So they should get faster and faster and more efficient, which I am looking forward to. Here we are. We have customized our mech. We now have the green sort of Master Chief Gundam look. This is one of the default mech skins that you can unlock, but you can customize your own pretty much endlessly. I've seen people make the Kerbals from Kerbal Space Program. I've seen people make like spider mechs that walk around like spiders. The customization of the mechs is frankly unbelievable and way too complicated for me to figure out. So let's go see where our main manufacturing is. So we made a very small iron line, and then we do have some processor factories over here. Solar panels, some coils. There's a copper node, silicon node. We're definitely going to need stone. We're definitely going to need iron. Coal, probably not too much. There's a very small iron vein up here. Perhaps that's what we use this iron vein for. That one's making iron plates for the processes, so I think we'll leave that one untouched. Let's go make a quick iron belt. This is an interestingly shaped vein. Let's see. I don't need to be super snazzy with this. We have loads of mining machines. Just make sure all of the veins are covered. Right, so that is 4, 6, 6, 5. That's going to be enough for two. I think it's going to be enough for 2 yellow belts, but we only need 1, so that's fine. We'll put a power tower in here. Actually, no. Power tower will go here. It's really annoying how it connects on like 1 tile away. We'll put it there, and then we'll put a Tesla tower here. And if need be in the future, we can upgrade this to a green belt. But I'm just going to leave this yellow belt for now. Because I don't actually want too much iron going into this thing. Just want to make sure we're using up the vein evenly. Who am I kidding? We're probably never going to completely consume this. So let's bring that down here. Then we'll make Tesla towers. I'll keep queuing up the researchers as well. What we might do is we might fabricate a load of gas giant harvesters as well. We're not currently fabricating anything. We can make 1 interstellar logistics thing. We'll get that queued up. So that will build while we're doing all the other stuff. Let's see. How is this going to actually match up with the grid? I'm going to put some here. Let's see. So I put that belt right where the Tesla tower is going to go. Inspired. So let's start with some smelters, you know, just to mix things up. I'll put them over here. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's make some smelters. I know what the first production line is going to be. It's going to be smelters. Make 6 of these. Fairly standard stuff. Looks like we need to put a couple of towers here as well. It's fine. There you go. So that's a plate of iron iron plates. Then next, let's make a belt of stone. So there's some stone right here as well. That'll do for now. We don't need to go overboard on this. And then I'll make... Needs foundation support. Oh wow, look, there's just like a giant crater here. I never even thought about this. I guess we do occasionally need foundations on a planet like this. Oh well. Just bring those here. So there goes stone. Just bring that down this way. Now I've got all these techs, building is going a lot quicker, which I really appreciate. So one thing I realized is I do actually have the Oxygen Not Included soundtrack on my computer. Like, it comes as a thing you can get with the game, and I think I have it. So that is actually an option for music to play when we're playing other games. If people really like the Oni music. I feel like that's a question I'm going to resolve later. Right, and then we need the circuit boards and the coils. Well, I don't want to make a full belt of circuit boards. I do want this to be independent of whatever we're using to manufacture processors, because that's eventually going to be our purple science output. So let's make another belt of... I can just go here. Yeah, there's the orbital collector. Are there any more upgrades we can get? I don't think there are. I think we... there's blueprints. I might as well grab that in case I need it. Vertical construction seems like a thing as well. I might as well research all these things now that titanium is flowing. Logistics carrier capacity, that's another one. I think that's it. I'm annoyed. So I've stopped taking my antihistamine pills because I think they were making me drowsy in combination with everything else, and I didn't think it was worth it. So I'm going without antihistamines now. So if you see me sneezing, that's probably why. I'm just going to send this copper ore belt over here so that I remember that it's for the building production line. And then let's actually just build it over here. That's fine. So we can demolish these mountains without issue, that's good. You make more sorters. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to put sorters in this list. I probably should. I probably am going to make them part of this production line, just so that I can mass produce the level 2 and the level 3 sorters. Because that would be more handy for later. I don't really need a production line for level 1 ones, but having a stockpile of level 2 and 3 ready to go would be handy. How's fuel doing? Yeah, fuel's fine. Hydrogen is doing well. So there's copper. And then we need some regular magnets as well. So you know what? We'll actually take this line off here. We'll use this to make the magnets. I technically misplaced that one. Can't actually go in here. So let's do this instead. Yeah, that'll do. Then we'll just come up here. So if we're going to make a whole belt of magnets, there'll be 9 smelters. There we go. So yeah, I'm just going to make 1 yellow belt of each of these inputs, and we'll see We'll see how efficient it is. We're just going to wing it. I'm not going to bother figuring out the ratios for this because we don't need consistent production. We just need a little bit to accumulate every now and then. So there's the magnets. So one assembler is going to make 90 coils per minute with 90 magnets per minute. I don't think any building is going to require us to make more than 90 coils per minute. So we'll just make one assembly machine for that. Where am I going to stick all these assembly machines? Because... I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick all of the assembly machines over here, and this is where all the buildings will end up, in this region here, and this is just where we're going to be handling all the raw materials. Hey Canadian Black Wolf, yeah, it's Tuesday, we're back with Dyson Sphere Program. Today I'm doing something, I'm just making a production line for all the basic buildings. I haven't figured out a load of maths, we're just going to have a load of belts with the raw materials, and we're going to make something. So, let's see. Let's start the assembly machines here. So we'll have one for... Oh, let's make the assembly machines first. Yeah, there we go. We'll make one for coils and one for circuits. So yeah, building production is the goal, and then the second goal is to make some gas giant collectors and put those around Avril Lavigne, yeah, so we can collect some fire ice and some hydrogen from this. We have our interstellar logistics up. All the yellow science is happening automatically now, so we're just researching all of that while we do this. So let's see, that one can be coils. So let's see, flip the whole belt. I'm so glad they added that as a feature. And then, yeah, we'll want to do the same for this. Same here. I like how all the materials just do the little shuffle. And this is going to be a huge mess of spaghetti. So, yeah, get ready for the spaghetti. That'll do. And then... Oh, wait, no, I'm an idiot. That should be for circuit boards. Okay, let's make the circuit boards instead. You think you're actually going to bust and buy this game? It's a very good idea. I'm not sure. I think people were saying it was on sale a few days ago. I mean, this game is a bargain at the moment. Early access, sale or not. So I would definitely recommend getting it. If you haven't played it, there is enough content to last you for at least like 50 hours. And odds are a lot more. If you like going in and fine-tuning everything. Right, that should be fine. I don't know why I put the copper over there. So, let's see. Yeah, that'll do. So, the 45... Yeah, yellow sorters is fine for all of this. So, let's do that. It is on sale. Ah, cool. Glad I'm not spouting rubbish. Let's see. So we want copper and magnets to this one. So that can go there. The magnets can come in. Yeah. And I'm just going to raise these up and then bring them back down. This is going to look like a lot of spaghetti. You're a bit more. This is early access, so they're pumping out updates constantly. I wouldn't say constantly. There's usually enough time between updates that you have plenty of time to get sunk into a save before the next big update. But what I would say is the next big update is going to be huge because they're adding the combat system. They're adding the I think it's called the Dark Fog, which is basically like an AI network that is building factories on the other stars in your cluster. And at the start of the game, you won't really be directly interacting with them. But once you expand and start getting interstellar, you'll start bumping into them. And you'll have to start defending your colonies. But I don't think that will happen until you unlock Space Warpers at a minimum. So, shouldn't be annoying in the early game. And should give some extra challenge to the late game. Right, so let's see. This is definitely a 90. Yeah, this seems good. So we'll just do the same here. So let's see. I'm going to bring these out here. Like this. The circuit boards. That's coils. So now I've got circuit boards. Circuit boards, coils, iron plates. I should have left a gap for this. Hold on. I can raise the copper up slightly. I think. So if I send it like that. Yeah, there you go. Cool. So we're obviously going to want this copper to continue. So these... Let's see. 1, 2, 3, and then the stone is 4. Hello, Mr. Frisbee. Then we'll send the stone back this way. And I think the building ones will go over here. This will be like the subpart area. Right, so let's see. So that's going to be smelters. So let's see. Let's do it like this. Then the plates and the we don't need, yeah, the electromagnetic coils, they'll go around here. The amount you're actually not prepared for the amount of spaghetti that you're going to see today. So that's going to be 60 iron per minute. I hate that this machine works at 75% of the normal speed. Like, just make it work at 100% speed, so that the maths that you do in your head is the maths that it actually shows you in the game. That's like the one thing I want them to change. Like if I select it down here, you'll see production speed 0.75. That makes no sense. Make the Mark 1 times. Make the Mark 2 1.25 or 1.33 times. I don't really care. And then make the Mark 3 2 times. Meatballs included. Hold on a minute. I think I have a command. I don't know why I have that command. I think that was from Noita. So there is a meatball command. There's not a spaghetti command though. Yeah. I'm gonna want the iron and the magnets to swap. I don't... Yeah, I think that is relevant. I could just use a green sorter, but I'm not going to. For now, we'll just deliver this belt here. That should be good enough. Okay, so that should be yellow, 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 yellow. Now that is going to make 15 smelters per minute, which is more than enough. So then that can just go into storage. Where am I going to store all of these? I guess I'm just going to put the storages right next to these. But I'm gonna put them on this side. In fact, I'm literally just going to do it like this. Like, no belt needed. That will do. And then we'll set it to 5. I don't think we're going to need more than 5 at a time. So that'll do for that. Right, next building. Belts. We already have a belt factory on the other planet. We should probably make one on this planet, realistically. If we're making all of this stuff over here, we should make a belt factory here. Now, I'm just going to be very lazy, and I'm going to fly back to the other planet and see what we did, and we're going to blueprint it. Like, we have this blueprint function, we might as well use it. And yeah, we'll be there in like 10 seconds. And I'm out of power. Nuclear fuel rods would be the next power source to make as well, but I'd rather get this building thing done today. I feel like we're going to do the nuclear thing once we get all of the gas giant harvesting done. And then we'll just have free hydrogen that we can use for any nuclear fuel production. Not have to worry about getting it from oil. Right, that'll do. Right, let's see. Conveyor belt factory is over here. This is disgusting. Do the wings do anything, or are they just aesthetic? They are just aesthetic, but they do fold out and they look very cool. And you can customize it, everything completely. I think they're adding armor and weight as variables to the mech. So I think eventually it will actually be relevant, but not at the moment. Right, blueprint. This is really ugly. Oh well. So let's remove that. No, this isn't right. Let's try again. Yeah, that'll do. To save that, that's fine. We've already picked up some more from the other storage bin, so let's go back to the desert planet. %10 speed boost, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I imagine eventually, like, the weight is going to factor into, like, how efficiently you can accelerate and decelerate. So you want lighter armor. And then you may also want higher durability for if you're flying near stars or something like that. But that isn't in the game yet. Let's actually just land here quickly. Yeah. Power generation is 230 megawatts at the moment, so no more solar panels needed. I think I am gonna just set up the fractionation stuff here as well, because we can just make more solar panels here super easily. In fact, did I set a limit on this storage? I did. Let's remove the limit. Just make a ton of solar panels. Let's paste this blueprint. What am I doing? Let me use the blueprint. Yeah, there we go. Right, so... So we've got iron here. That's the only input we need. So I'll build some more mining machines on this, and we'll just make the conveyor thing completely independent. What do you mean? What do you mean you can't place it? There you go. We're missing some things. Missing some wind turbines, some sorters, some smelters. We can make all of those. But yeah, the blueprinting is really good in this game. Very, very intuitive. Right, so I will want to change this belt. So let's just make that go here. There's going to be 180 per minute. I could probably fit another 180 per minute one in here. Maybe. Perhaps what I do is this. There we go. Pick up a letter. So now this sign can go in here. And I will need some... well, I don't need wind turbines here. Let's just make Tesla towers here. I'll do. That's fine. Yeah, we'll put some logistics drones in this as well. I need to make some logistics drones. So... or bots, rather. So I'll put those in there. I'm going to be super fussy about this. Just a means to end. Hello, Poke Salad 11. How you doing? We are currently filling our inventory with crap. Let's see. There we go. Let's make some space. Yes, we're on our desert planet. We're still in our starting system at the moment on the desert planet, and we're making a production line for all of our buildings. So we have our research going on Celine Dion. Someone named all of these planets. So they had a lot of fun with the names. And yeah, we're doing yellow science, getting all of that stuff researched. We're just making some more infrastructure before we go for the purple science. So yeah, now we have belts. They'll get filled up automatically by our logistics bots. So we won't run out of belts, which is nice. So yeah, smelters are being made here. I don't have the slots to put the buildings on here. I think eventually we're going to want to take the raw materials off here and put the buildings here. So that the drones can just, the bots can just deliver the buildings rather than deliver the raw materials for us to make buildings with. But we'll see. Right, what's the next thing on the list? Assembly machines is probably a good one. So that's going to be iron plates, gears, and circuit boards. So I can make a gears thing super easily over here. Yeah, the bots are great. This is the first playthrough I've done where the bots have been in the game. They're super cool. I love them. They're little fidget spinners that just make your life a lot easier. So that can go in there. And then assembly machines just require plates, gears, and circuit boards. So we can put the next one over here. The thumbnail for this video is just going to be all of the spaghetti that ends up from all of these different assembly machines making different things. But yeah, that will be assembly machines. These things Let's actually change how this belt goes. So something like this. Flip the belt. Then that one can just go up here. So far, not super impressed with Spaghetti's level. You've done worse than Oni. Oh, it's gonna get there. I've done this sort of thing before in this game, and it just ends up ridiculous. We're gonna demolish this whole little plateau as well. Like, we're not gonna conserve any of the natural geography. We're just gonna flatten the whole thing. So yeah, circuit boards goes in here, and then the gears will come out here, and they'll just go down here. And then in terms of the ratios, wow, it takes 2 seconds to make an assembly machine. So that's going to be consuming 90 gears per... Is that 90 gears per second? I think it should be. 22.5 per minute. Yeah, that's fine. Well, we don't need it to be producing constantly. We just need it to produce enough. And then that'll be assembly machines. I'll have a look at everything that's going here later. I just want to get everything producing for now. That is not working. Here you go. I'm alive. Yes, I'm alive. I live. I survived. I survived the fever. I was not feeling well at the weekend. I am feeling well now. I had Monday off. But yes, we're well enough to stream again, well enough to play video games again, which is always nice. Okay, so that's smelters and assembly machines done. That's nice. We've got belts being made as well. Wind turbines and solar panels are already being produced en masse. Mining machines is the next one. So we just need to take the iron, the boards, the coils, and the gears and put them together. So let's stick that one over here. I think this is probably spaced far enough apart that we can just fit all the belts in. So then gears can go up. Let's see. What are the ratios needed? Gears are relatively low. Iron plates is the main one, so iron plates can go on the inside. That's going in here. Just bring that back around here. Then circuit boards can come back. Also, a word of advice. You can't proliferate buildings. I don't think. Like, you can proliferate the products that go into the buildings to build the buildings faster, but you can't proliferate the buildings themselves. And this is relevant because you need the yellow belts to make the green belts. In this recipe, you can't proliferate the yellow belts, so there's no point in doing proliferation for buildings that require other buildings as ingredients. Yeah, coils can come out of here. Let's see. I'm just going to send this back this way. I think that will do. So then, more sorters, please. That should be fine. All the gears are going in here at the moment. We're going to need more gear production if we're going to get this building regularly. Because at the moment what's happening is the smelters are going to get made first, then if there's any spare materials left they're going to make the assembly machines, and then if there's any spare materials left they'll make the mining machines. So in this case we're not going to get, because of the gears, we're not going to get any mining machines until the assembly machines are done. Which is probably fine because we're probably just going to leave this for like hours and then we'll come back and everything will be full. So next thing, Storages seem relevant. So we have stone over here. We can actually just have a few layers of this. This is fine. So we'll make sure to put in the Tesla towers as well. I have done goofed. I guess we'll do it like this. Just for this one area. Hello, Game Taco FTW. How you doing? Kind of fishing the tank. All right, we're having a certified fish tank moment. we got some orange platties. We've got Whiskers the Weatherloach, who's very attentively watching us at the moment. Channel mascot. We've got some Zebra Danios swimming around the top. And then there's some Hillstream Loaches. I can't really see where they are at the moment. But they're like little mini... They look like little mini stingrays. They're very cool. This is a temperate tank, so it doesn't usually get... It's not heated. It doesn't usually get above 22 degrees. And then over here... that's the frog tank. Oh, hello. That's the frog tank. But we also have a couple of fish in there at the moment that are being medicated. So it's like a frog/quarantine tank. Although it's actually becoming a snail tank because there's way too many bladder snails there. We're slowly feeding them all to Whiskers. But yeah, that's the fish situation, the fish update. And yeah, we have a load of fishy emotes as well. So yes. Right, let's see. This can be storages. So we just need the iron and then we need the stone. So let's actually do a detour on this. Send this over here and come back. Raiders incoming. Oh no. We'll be fine. We'll do another fish update for the Raiders. Right, so iron plates go in there. Stone. There's a stone. Am I blind? There's a stone. See, this is what I meant by spaghetti. Like, I wasn't kidding.
There we go.
Hey Max, how you doing? Welcome back. How's things been going with the beavers? We're doing some Dyson Sphere Program today. I'm making an absolutely unholy amount of spaghetti because we're making a production line for all of the different buildings we use to make our factories with, and they all have a lot of different ingredients that they don't need very much of. So we're just going absolutely mad with the spaghetti today. But yes, hope you're doing well. Fish are doing well. Whiskers is doing well and is quite active. There's Whiskers. He says hi to everyone. And yeah, we're doing it on this planet because we have loads of solar panels just wrapping around the whole desert planet, and we're right next to our star. Yeah, there it is. So we're getting a lot of power for all this manufacturing going on here. You murdered all the beavers again. Great, perfect. Doing the beavers proud. Man, Timberborn looks fun. I think that if I ever get any time, that's on the list of games I'm going to play. Also, why did I put this one like one tile out from the others? That's so annoying. Whatever. Nothing about this bit is going to be satisfying. It's just a means to an end. Yes, thank you. Yes, the solar panels works pretty well. There's like two ways to do them in this game. Either you make a belt that wraps around the whole equator, so there's constantly like some solar panels active. You get like a constant power generation. Look, they're even rotating to meet where the sun is. Or you can have like patches of them, and then you can hook them up to accumulators, so they charge and discharge like in Oni with the batteries. But we're not doing that here. Right, what are we going to do with this? Do we need to make large storages? I don't think so. We're going to need steel at some point. Matrix Labs seems like a good one. We already have wind turbines. I think I'm just going to make the sorters here. We're going to make everything here. So we need iron plates and green and the circuit boards. So I think it makes more sense to put that one over here. And I think my number one rule for this game is, like, don't be afraid to spread things out if you need to understand how they work. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You're usually not going to run out of space, especially if you're building everything on, like, a desert planet here. So if you don't know exactly what something's going to look like, just give yourself plenty of space to build things with. And you can just make spaghetti that fits within the space. Right, so sorters, yeah. One of each of these should be fine. That can go... In fact, let's take that sorter and bring it in here. And then we can have this go up and over. And then we can just bring it back down here, I guess. And that should be absolutely fine. So that will be regular sorters, but we're also gonna, instead of doing that, we're gonna have the sorters go on a belt. We'll have the belt run past the storage bin. And then once that's full, we'll use it to make the more advanced sorters. So what do the advanced sorters need? They need motors. I think we're gonna make a few motors and turbines, to be honest. So these things, they're basic ingredients. You need them to make things. I don't tend to bother making a production line for these things until really late. But if you are making a production line for buildings, you need them. You'll eventually need them for the green science, for space warpers, because you need turbines to make particle containers. And those are needed to make the strange matter for the green science. But green science is the last science in the game. It's the, well, it's not the last one in the game. It's like the 5th science. We're on number 3 at the moment, so we don't really need it. We're still doing loads of research, actually. I think we could grab the sorter cargo stacking for level 3 sorters. We are going to start making level 3 sorters. We might as well do it now. We'll get all of this researched. This is where the buffer of science cubes we had from earlier is coming in handy, because that's all being researched immediately instead of waiting for all the science to be produced again. So thank you for that tip. Right, let's see. So motors require plates, the gears, and the coils. So there's the gears, there's the coils, there's the plates. So let's just stick this here. And we'll do it with the belt coming out here, because this is an intermediate ingredient. So that will be... that'll be motors. So that's going to require the plates to be... yeah, the plates can be on the outside. Need the gears and the coils. Let's see. So that can go... I can go here, actually. You can have that be all the way on the outside and it's not going to cause an issue. Gears, I can go around here, I guess. Then I'll just bring that back. I'll bring that over here. Then I guess I'll have the motors come out here, that's fine. That should be fast enough. It does seem like we need more gear production. This is bottlenecking quite quickly over here. To be honest, I could fit another assembly machine in here, so I'm just going to do that. We'll make twice as many gears. And hopefully that means this will actually fill up. No, not a chance. This thing really is guzzling down all those gears. Oh well. As long as everything gets finished eventually, they'll be fine. It just means we won't get to see everything activate until we come back. And it may break in ways that we don't expect. So then you also just need even more coils to turn the motors into turbines. So that's one that's fairly easy to make. So that can go there. These are filling to a limited amount. That's fine. So once we have that full of motors, we'll bring those here. We used to make some turbines. These are the coils. So they can come back here. It's fine. I may tidy this up later, I may not. I don't know. I just want to make something where I can see it working and just forget about it over time. I'm going to have this run on a belt as well, because we may need to end up making some super magnetic rings at some point. So that's a few turbines. So now we have turbines, we have the motors. So now we can make the green sorters. So those just take the yellow sorters and the motors. So what I'll do is I'll put another thing down here. That can be... And the motors are just running past here. So then this can just go in here. That actually makes sense, which is a nice change. I don't know why I've switched to the square grid here. I mean, to be honest, it's working. Like, in terms of coverage, the Tesla towers are so good, it doesn't really matter whether they're in triangles or squares. I should make a note of that. I could just do them in squares like this. I mean, I could almost do them like this. Like, it does leave a little bit of a gap in the middle. I could definitely do it like this. You need more spaghetti? You're right, I've become distracted from the spaghetti. This is epic spaghetti cooking music. Spaghetti is so organized, does it even count? I'll tell you what, it looks organized because it's spread out. Like, the one I made originally was not spread out at all. So it looked a lot less organized. But there are some really organized builds for this game. Like, they fit all of this in like a quarter of the space. And sometimes that's relevant, like if you're on a planet with like big water oceans and you just don't have the space available. Looks like we're actually making some sorters now. That's nice. Right, so that's green sorters. What about the blue sorters? Yeah, so the blue sorters are literally just the green sorters and a turbine. So we can do that pretty easily as well. So what I would say is, in this case, the outputs are organized and the belts are less organized. Is my take on this. So let's see. So that's going to be blue sorters. So this can just go around here. This can just come down here. That should do. And then nothing else needs blue sorters. They're the end product, so I can just slot that right in here. Okay, so that's nice. We'll eventually have a big stockpile of those we can come back to. We won't have to make all the turbines by hand. I'm going to close the curtains. By curtains, I mean blind. Right, so we have these belts. Now we have the turbines, so we might as well make some green belts as well. So the belt factory is somewhere completely different. The belt factory is here. And it's already full up, which is nice. So let's take this conveyor. And I guess I'll just send it over here. It's always nice having a factory that makes the components that lets you make more factories. But this, honestly, this game makes it super easy. Like, it's so intuitive. They've added so many quality of life features, like where it just like brings the belts over each other like this. I would like, it's excellent. Everything just feels very convenient to use. I would definitely say it feels more straightforward building really large systems like this, and it does an oxygen not included. But I think it's part of the charm of oxygen not included as well. Like, that everything gets so complex, and that you can't really mass produce it very easily. It means you think about it differently every time. Right, so this is the turbine belt. So let's send that over here. Send that over. Let's see. I'm gonna make this the green belt. The green belt assembler. That's not a green belt. That's a green belt. So that can go up here. Then that can come in like this. That should be fine. This will look even better once all of the gears are actually being made in there. We've got a lot of assembly machines in here now. That's nice. Assembly machines take so many gears. We should have made more gears. Right, so that can go there. This can go in here. And now the blue belts. The blue belts are very good. So a yellow belt can handle 360 items per minute on its own. A green belt is relatively easy to make and can handle twice the amount, 720 items per minute, or 12 per second. The blue belt is a massive upgrade. It goes up to 1,800 items per minute. So it's 2.5 green belts. But it requires a supermagnetic ring, and it requires graphene. So the graphene we're going to get from fire ice. So we're not going to set this one up until after we've got the fire ice coming in from the gas giants. Or the ice giant, rather. And then the supermagnetic ring is made with turbines, magnets, and graphite. So we can make supermagnetic rings now. So let's do that. Let's put those over here. I like to have all three of these things together. So we obviously need turbines to go into here. So this can go on a slight detour. Looks really ugly. Actually, you know what I'll do? Instead of that, I'll do this. And then that can go... Oh, right, yeah. And go like this. So then we need the magnets. We do have a belt of magnets. It's this one. So that can go up here. Just put these here. I'm beginning to realize I've just moved this whole thing back. I should have brought these ones over here. Whatever. It doesn't matter. So that's magnets, and then we need graphite, which comes from coal. There is coal on this planet. There's a little bit of it. So we can go bring the coal over and make some graphite. We shouldn't need it for anything else. This will require a very small amount of graphite, so that one mining machine should be plenty. That can just go here, actually, to be honest. Yeah. So then... I think what I do is I bring it here, I raise it up 3 levels, and then I can bring it over the solar panels, like this. And then I'll bring it back down over here. And then I can come in like this. Oh, wait, no. Instead of doing that, I'm actually going to put the smelters over here. So each of these will handle 60 coal. So we'll just make 3 of these. And 90 is way overkill for this, but that's fine. You know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to bring this down here. Then what I can do is I can actually... Oh, don't connect it. I can actually just connect this here. And that should be... Actually, I think this will require... This will require greens. Yeah, that's okay. And I guess we'll put them here. So then the graphite will come out here, and that can go in here. So that will make the supermagnetic rings, which will then go into... So we're going to have this be where the blue belt manufactory is, and that's the end product, so that can just go here. Yeah, that's fine. So I believe we're importing... Okay, we aren't importing graphene here. Let's import graphene here. We actually have the ships waiting on the other planets, so we'll just get a load of graphene delivered here. Oh yeah, there's a load of excess graphene on the planet we're already harvesting for the fire ice. This is perfect. We can just use the excess graphene there to make the blue belts. Nice. It's all coming together. So let's take that belt and bring it down here. No, not quite like that. Then that can actually, that doesn't even need to go that far. You could just bring that over the top. Does that actually fit here? It does. It's pretty nice. So that can go in there. Doesn't even require a huge amount of graphene. Yeah, this is going to be really good. It's not going to make things super quickly, but it will make small quantities of everything over time. So I can come back, like, when I need stuff, like a really optimized build, I can come back here, collect a load of stuff, and then come back again after a long time. And it should be fine. So, right, the green belts can go over here. We've also researched all of the level 3 sorter upgrades now. So those level 3 sorters will be nuts. I haven't talked about them yet. So the Mark 1 sorter does 90 resources per minute. And then that will drop to half of that level if it's 2 away, and a third of that level if it's 3 away, in terms of how far the belt is from the machine. The Mark 2 sorter is twice as fast. Straight up. And then the Mark 3 sorter is twice as fast again, but it can stack. It can stack the cargo on top of itself. So it can collect multiple things and then do the trip. So in actual fact, it's much higher than 6 items per second. It's more like 36 items per second. It depends on how fast the belt is delivering the items to the sorter. But if you're using like a max speed belt, then the level 3 sorter will handle it. It's very strong. Uses relatively little power as well, to be honest. Does day and night cycle affect anything else other than solar generation? It actually does. This is really late game stuff. But when you're actually making your Dyson Sphere, you will do that so that you can collect the solar energy on your planet. And what you need to do for that, to transfer the energy from the sphere to your planet, is you need to build these things called ray receivers. And those will collect energy from the Dyson Sphere at different rates depending on where they're positioned on the planet. And you can bounce the energy off the planet's ionosphere, and there's techs that let you do that more efficiently. But at the start, it's very important where you place them, and it makes let's say we go to like our home planet. Like if we were gonna make a Dyson Sphere program, Dyson Sphere in this system, not only would we have to deal with the day-night cycle here in terms of receiving the rays, we'd also have to deal with potentially being eclipsed by the gas giant quite frequently, which would make it less efficient as well, I think. I think that's how it works. So we'll get into all that stuff later, but it's not just solar panels that require the day-night cycle. It's also the actual receiving it from the sphere itself. Of course, there is one way of solving this. If your star is big enough, you can actually make a Dyson Sphere that's bigger than the orbit of the planet, so that the planet orbits within the Dyson Sphere. And then obviously it doesn't matter like where the planet is, because you'll always be able to bounce off of the sphere if you're inside of it. And that is something you can do. Anyways, we will get to that later. Probably in a couple of months at this point. Right, so what was the aim? What were we doing? Sounds like a lot of materials. Exactly. Like, this is like really small. Like, it gets to the point where you take up whole planets with factories. And then the efficiency of using like the better belts, the better sorters becomes really important. Right, so this is the green belts. So they can come in here. We've got the graphene coming in here, and then we just need the supermagnetic rings, which are not coming out of this. So that belt can go here. Then I guess we'll just send it this way. But yeah, the scale of everything, once you actually start building a Dyson Sphere, gets nuts. And then the epic sounding music starts to feel more deserved. Like, when you're actually firing all of the solar sails to the star with your, like, rail guns, and then you're launching all the rockets to, like, build the framework, and the whole, like, sky is full of solar sails and spaceships, like, constantly taking off from your planet and building this massive thing that you can see as you're, like, watching the sunrise. It's ridiculous, like, how satisfying it is. I don't think words can properly describe it. Right, so that should be the belts, the graphene, and the supermagnetic rings. So we will eventually start getting blue belts off of this, but that's going to take a little while. Looks like we are making motors. We're now stockpiling motors. Alright, what's the next thing? Level 2 assembly machine. That's a thing we could do. We do actually have some processors being made. Now, I don't really want to touch this, because this is going to be used for, like, the purple science later. But we're not going to be using the level 2 assembly machines too often, so I think we can get away with doing this. So yeah, we'll raise that up and go over here. Where am I going to put this? So to be honest, I'm just gonna take the assembly machines out of here and put them in here. That should be fine. We could probably do this direct transfer a lot more often. We could have done it for, like, some of these things. So this will make green assemblers. So the graphene can come back in here. I'm actually quite pleased with how I positioned all this stuff. Like, I didn't remember exactly how to lay it out, but we positioned it sensibly so the belts aren't going absolutely everywhere. And then the processors would go in. So let's just bring those down again. That will do to start. Then those can go. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, those can go like that. That should be fine. Then that will give us the level 2 assembly machines. And actually, to be honest, I quite like the level 2 assembly machines, only for the reason that they manufacture stuff at 100% normal speed instead of 75% normal speed. So stuff is actually manufactured at the rate it says on the interface. Which should not be a reason for building something, especially when it requires processors. But it is what it is. So now I've got some of these. There are more advanced buildings, but they require some very advanced tech, so we're not going to bother with those just yet. Thermal power plants? I could make these as well. Probably worth doing. So let's see, where are these belts? So we need iron, steel, gears, and magnets. So iron, steel, gears. No, we need iron, coils. Hold on, no, I'm getting confused now. Yeah, iron, coils, gears, and and stone. So we need these. There's the stone. I think the stone is still all the way back here. Yes, we'll bring the stone this way. Then we can make another thing over here. And what we'll do with these is we can fill these with fire ice from either the other planet or the gas or the ice giant. And then if there's planets that have really bad wind and solar, i.e. like the ice planet over here, we can build thermal plants and run them off the free fire ice from the gas giant. We don't want to run it off consumable fire ice in case we run out, but if we're getting it from a gas giant anyways, we might as well. Right, hold on. This is looking kind of weird. This is where the spaghetti begins. So that can go there. Can I just bring this like here? I can't. Good. Okay. Bring that like that. Then we just need the iron. So do that, except don't. There's still a little bit of tricking belts in this game, but it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be. Like, you can pretty much build what you want now, and you don't have to trick any belts. Right, so that requires a pretty decent amount of iron, so the iron should be going on the inside in this case. So let's actually adjust these. Yes, I know the inputs are mixed up at the moment, but it doesn't actually matter because that'll correct itself. So then we can do it like this. In fact, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move that over here. And then we'll put another storage bin here, and that can be thermal plants. Nice. Do you need these to make anything? I think we need to do more tech now. Right, let's actually grab the rest of the technologies we can get from here before purple science. So, geothermal plant, yes. You use these on lava planets. We don't have a lava planet on this run, but you can plug them straight into the lava, and they'll generate power. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest. They do require supermagnetic rings, but not very many. Solar sails, you obviously need these to launch the... Well, you could use these to make a Dyson swarm to start. It's like a sphere, except it's not as good, and you have to... And the sails eventually self-destruct. So it's not great, and we're not actually going to bother with the sails at all. We're only going to use the sails for making the end sphere, rather than sending them up in the meantime. There is an achievement for actually beating the game without firing a solar sail, and I think we're going to do that one. So no, it's without making a Dyson swarm. So we're just going to skip that and go straight to spheres. There's the frame material, which you use to start making the Dyson sphere with. There's the rockets, which you launch from the Dyson sphere. We don't need to bother with any of this stuff yet. Fusion power generation. This is what we need. So you don't need thermal plants to make the fusion plant. It's a different building entirely, but we'll definitely queue that up. Then we need, yeah, carbon nanotubes, high strength glass, the broadband, so we can make internet. We can give ourselves new internet. You need the broadband to make purple science. The Mark III proliferator. Are we going to bother with Mark III proliferator? I don't think I'm going to bother with Mark III proliferator to start. The carbon nanotubes is just a pain to make. Like, you need graphene and titanium. We could make the carbon nanotubes. It's not too much of a hassle. The main reason why I don't normally make it is because the bump from the Mark II to the Mark III is very small. Like, it goes from plus 20% products to plus 25% products. So it's not that much of a difference when it comes to like making your research better, making your fuels more efficient. It is a boost, but it's not a big boost. And it's arguable that it's worth the trouble of making all the nanotubes. But we'll see. It does really affect the production speed up. Like if we go to the Mark II proliferator, the speed up goes from 50% to 100%. So what you'd really want to use the Mark III proliferator for, I think, outside of the research and the fuels, is to make it so you can have much smaller factories. Because if you're able to speed up the buildings by like 100%, you need far fewer of them. And if you've got a really big factory, that's usually more important than the extra product. So you can actually fit it where you want to put it. So we'll research that for later. What else do we want? The particle collider. You'll need this eventually to make strange matter. You can make nuclear fuel with this. It's just very power intensive. So we're going to set up a fractionator instead because I want to show you guys how to do that. We'll make this with a strange matter anyways. Casimir crystals. These are needed for plane filters, which are needed for quantum chips. So you need Casimir crystals, A, for the green science, and B, for the advanced smelter and like the advanced mining machine. This thing is so cool. I built it in sandbox mode. I'm not going to spoil it. It's amazing. The plane smelter is just a regular smelter, but it's twice as good. So again, it's pretty good. You need unipolar magnets to make it, which you only find on black hole planets or neutron stars. It's quite rare that you're going to bother with a plane smelter instead of just like using the proliferator or something instead. I can see you needing them for like massive purple science builds where you just need to smelt so much silicon. But yeah, you do need the magnets. Okay, that'll do for now. Storage tanks, that would be something good to make as well. We'll need a production line for glass. Let's make one of those. Do we have a production line for glass? We have one here. Yeah, we can make one. It's fine. Let's see. Where is that stone coming in? Hey, Tech Rock, how you doing? We're back to the Dyson Sphere Program. I'm just making kind of a mall. I'm somewhat skeptical about how I've laid it out, but we are technically making the advanced buildings here. We're just going to try and get some very small production of those done so we can come back to them if needed. Alright, let's just make another production line for glass. And we'll put it, like, somewhere else. Maybe we'll even put it here. Yours is better. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that yours is better. Yeah. I'll do. You know what? I'm just going to put it over here. Let's see. Go here. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. At least we have the yellow science going automatically. So that's chipping away while we're doing all of this. Also, let's actually just go and get some smelters now that we've mass produced them. Very good. So glass goes here. This will make 180 glass per minute. Should be fine for all this. Once you have one lazy bastard play through the game, you understand it a ton. Yes. I think I am just going to keep building the Tesla towers like this. Very straightforward. So then the glass will come out like this. But yeah, once we've done this, we're going to go and make some gas giant harvesters as well. Start doing that. In fact, at this point, I could probably just start manufacturing all that stuff. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I don't want to take the turbines out of the production line at the moment because it's taking a while to get up to speed. But we can grab some of these. I mean, the key advantage of this is that instead of spending our time fabricating all these things, we could be fabricating something bigger that we don't want to make a production line for, and just grab all the stuff that we otherwise need. Okay, let's see. So we need glass, iron, and stone. So I'm just going to put this one here. Hey Neosa, how you doing? How's life been treating you? It is really satisfying how everything grows bigger and bigger. Like we're not even like really out of, like, I'd say we've like just started the mid game. There's so much to do, and we are honestly being quite slow. But it's nice. It's nice gradually doing everything and gradually building up. Let's see. So I'm going to just take this iron belt and I'm going to move it over here. Wait, when did they add drones for the mecha? Yeah, they added logistics bots quite recently. So, yeah, these little things. Yeah, they're like the Factorio drones. But they did add them. We've only got them for the conveyor belts because like I can't be able to keep going and fetching more belts. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, I'm glad I'm feeling better too as well. I was really concerned. I'll talk more about that at the end of the stream, I think. I don't want to keep repeating myself about how ill I was feeling. But I'm going to be making some changes to my lifestyle that will hopefully stop it from happening as often as it has been. Let's see. There we go. And then we just need the glass, which is... where is that? That's here. So... that's annoying. I guess I'll just send it like this. Ooh, that's really annoying. Actually, hold on. I can fix this. There we go, glass belt. So I thought it was, well, I didn't think it was COVID. My boss thought it was COVID, so I took a COVID test and it wasn't COVID. It was definitely a fever of some kind. And to be honest, I think it's just because I was just shattered. Like, I don't think I was getting enough sleep. That one night, I didn't get to sleep until like 4 o'clock. And to be honest, it was my own lemon fault. I was just thinking about things and looking stuff up. Mostly to do with games, to be honest. But yeah, I've not been getting enough sleep in general, I would say. Sleep is good. So I'm going to be trying to move the streams back a little bit. I'm going to try and do 7 till 10 instead of 7:30 till 10:30. And that is contingent on me being really, like, on top of, like, getting dinner and stuff sorted after work. So we'll see how that goes. But that's the aim. Because I just need more sleep. Like, I need to get up at 6:30 so I can get to work for 8:30 and have breakfast and stuff and have a shower. So really that means I need to get to bed by, like, 10:30, ideally, for 8 hours of sleep. So that's the aim. Anyways, enough about that. We're making storage tanks. So we got liquid storage tanks now. That's good. What other buildings? Splitters. That's a pretty easy one to make. So we need circuit boards, iron plates, and gears. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get stronger coming out of it. Like, you need to be aware of these things before you deal with them. Now, this is the annoying part. So we have... Where's the circuit board? So the circuit boards are finishing here. Plates are finishing here, the gears are finishing here. That's fine. We'll just continue these over here. It's okay. So let's just go like this. Yeah, that's fine. So what's the ratio on this? Circuit board's quite low. Plates are quite high. Oh, that's funny. Hold on. This didn't sort itself out. It ran out of iron. There we go. That's fine now. So that's iron, that's stone. Iron comes in here. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to send the iron up here. The gears can come this way. The boards can come this way. And then we'll just have the iron come out here as well. Then it's all in a row. Go in here. Like that. Because we're going to be using splitters a lot for the fractionator. So we do want to mass produce these. Also, I forgot to put the output on the super magnetic rings. I'm sure I forgot to do a few things like this. Okay, so we also need more test towers. So yeah, it was a combination of like lack of sleep and me taking antihistamines that were making me more drowsy. And then that coupled with work and everything else I was doing and just major burnout. Right, we have an interstellar logistics station. So to make a gas giant harvester, not only do you need an interstellar logistics station, you need supermagnetic rings, which we're making. You need advanced thrusters, which you can make, but we don't have the... What don't we have at the moment for that? I just don't think we have enough of them. Yeah. And then you need charged accumulators. You need to make the accumulators and then charge them up. So that's something else we should do, is accumulators. So those require iron, supermagnetic rings, and the silicon crystals. And we made a silicon crystal thing earlier for that. So let's see. Supermagnetic rings. Where are those again? That is this line. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put another machine here. That will be accumulators. The iron can go over here. Yeah, the iron can go over here. That's fine. Now we're getting into some spaghetti. So that's going to require a fair amount of iron. Then the super magnetic rings can also come in here. And then the crystals. You need a fair amount of the crystals as well. So that's fine. This can go... We'll just bring this one up and over as well. In fact, I can go right there. It's funny. So then where's that going to go? That's going to go straight down here. Straight, I mean, like this. I don't think we're going to need this for anything other than the accumulators. So we'll just end the belt here. In fact, what I'll do is I'll... Yeah, no, that's not fine. That needs to be an inner connection. So yeah, that no. Fine, we'll do it like this. There we go. So that will start making accumulators, which we'll put here for now. We are actually just going to want to charge them up. So I think it's about time we made an energy exchange. We do have all the resources for this. So we'll make that. And we'll try out one of those. And what we'll do is we'll use the accumulator to fill up. No, we'll use the energy exchanger to fill up the accumulators off the solar power here. And then have it put the actual finished the full accumulators, the charged accumulators in here. That would make more sense. The only thing is the exchanger is huge, so I don't know where we're going to put that. Probably here. Let's queue up some more research in the meantime. So we obviously want purple science. Let's see. Oh, there's this thing as well. It's the piler. You can use it to pile stuff up on belts. And that lets you effectively multiply the amount of traffic that can run on a belt. Like, if you have a yellow belt that's moving 360 items per minute, if you have those items be 2 stacks of cargo instead of 1, then it's 720 items per minute. So you can effectively use one of these to turn a yellow belt into a green belt, but it does require processors and supermagnetic rings to make. But what you're mostly using these for is to stack stuff on top of green and blue belts, so that you can get more than 720 and 1800 respectively on those. So this lets you make really heavily stacked belts. So we'll grab that as well. And then let's see. Probably just the Casimir crystal and the strange matter. Then we can unlock the graviton lens, and you can use the graviton lens to make space warpers, which means that you can actually warp to other stars, which is huge. You do need some purple science to actually get your engine good enough to use the space warpers, but you can make space warpers without green science. If you have green science, you can make them 8 times more efficiently. So you usually want to do that, but you can technically make them without if you don't want to go all the way. You just want to leave. So grab that. And then I guess we need the frame material as well, so let's just grab that. I think you need that for the nuclear reactor. Right. We have the energy exchanger. It actually goes here in logistics. So it's not quite as big as I was making it out to be. We can't fit it here. I could just put it here maybe. Yeah. So I can't do a direct belt into here. It needs to be a belt that feeds it. So let's have a think. put it there. And then accumulators can come out here. You can go on the belt and go in here. Oh god. Let me just select the belt, please. There you go. And we'll set this to charge mode. Because there's different things you can do with these. So you can either use them to charge accumulators, or you can use them to discharge accumulators. Like if you're charging them up on one planet and you want to send them somewhere else where they're needed for power, you can set it to discharge, and then the whole thing will flip over like this, which I find very amusing. And then that will discharge it back onto the power grid, or you can just set it to idle and it doesn't do anything. I like this machine a lot. It's very cool. And because you can put the energy, you can put the accumulators on logistics vessels, it lets you transfer power between star systems, which I don't think you can do otherwise. Just let me build the thing, please. Right. I'm just going to put a storage bin here. And then that belt can come out here with the charged accumulators. Then they can all go in here. And we'll limit this to 5 for now. What's stopping this from working? It's not got any supermagnetic rings. And it's not got any iron, because we're still using the iron to make loads of stuff. Has the iron belt actually stopped? Where is the iron? Yeah, we are just using up all the iron at the moment. That's fine. Just let that keep running for now. So we have accumulators. Storage Mark 2s, I'm not going to bother with. You don't need them. You don't really need Storage Mark 1s that much, to be honest. Like, once you, I mean, you do need them to put the logistics bot things on, but you don't need to make like huge stacks of them. You can just put everything in the planetary logistics towers, and then you can have the logistics drones move everything around into loads of belts. I'm not even going to bother making these. Matrix Labs, that would be a good one. So that needs glass. It's glass, iron, circuit boards, and coils. So there's the glass. Iron and circuit boards are over here, and there's coils. So let's actually make this one here. That requires a lot of iron and a little bit of everything else. So the iron can go on the inside. Then this can go over here, I guess. Coils. I'm just gonna shift this around a little bit. We're just gonna have this belt go all the way up over here. Yeah, let me flip this. I'm gonna move this sorter. Yeah, now we're getting some spaghetti going. Oh wait, I did something stupid here. Let's see. Here you go. Wait. Oh, I need to flip this. Yeah, that's the issue. Okay. Then this can go... You know what, just... There we go. Then we've got a single belt with a single coil on it. Nice. Right, that should all work now. So... plates. Circuit boards. Coils. Then we just need the glass, which is all the way over here. That's fine. I can just go like this. Yeah, just run past the energy exchanger. And that can go over here. Then all of these belts are here together. I can go here, that can go here. That looks so ugly, whatever, it works. And then we have all of those belts, and then we can just put the matrix lamps in here. Good. Right, what else have we got? Spray coaters require a lot of advanced stuff, so I'm not going to mass produce those. Water pumps we could do. I'm not going to bother with traffic monitors. We don't tend to use those very much. Tesla towers, maybe. Probably should make Tesla towers, shouldn't we? Those are a pretty easy one. They're so easy, I usually just make them, but I mean, we may as well. So let's see. As the towers go here. I think this is more so I can make wireless power towers later. So yeah, coils go in here. And plates come out there. Lever. There you go. So these require plasma exciters, which require prisms and coils. Prisms you just make from the glass. Okay, so that's definitely something we should do here. Let's make prisms here. Then that's the glass. So that can come. It's annoying. Maybe I'll put this here. Hello, Right Mind Gamming. I presume it's pronounced gamming because who knows. Interesting choice for a production line. I generally just work in a straight line and weave the belts around the line of assemblers as needed. Yeah, I think this started off as that, and then it just turned into something with more spaghetti. I have not planned this out. The aim was just to make something that just generates a little bit of all the advanced buildings over time, and then we just periodically come back here and load up. And I'll fully admit I've not planned it very well. But yeah, here we are. Hope you're doing well. We are about 14 hours in to this game. I have not been going particularly quickly. We do have yellow science unlocked. And we have yellow science unlocked, and it's being automatically produced. We have the spaceships flying between all different planets with the titanium, etc. That's all working around. Where's the fun in planning? Yeah. I have fun planning some things, but not others. Like, I've been planning the science production lines a fair bit to get a proper throughput of science going. But this thing, I'm not really worried about throughput. I just want it to eventually make, like, 200 of every building. And I don't mind if it takes ages. So I'm literally just connecting stuff up so that it will eventually get made. I'm not really caring about the production rates here. But for other factories, like, we have I don't know why. We have like a solar panel factory over here where it's making 36 solar panels a minute. Presumably because we're gonna export them to other planets at some point. We've got them all loading up in here. We've currently got 2,102 in here. And eventually we're just gonna send those over to other stars and build loads of solar panels. I thought that was something where the throughput was important, but yeah, not here. Right, what was I doing again? We were doing something involving glass, so probably not water pumps. Prisms. Yeah. Let's make some prisms here really quickly. And that's actually going to be like a belt with the storage. So that can go here. Planning on belting a few planets and solar. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've already got a nice belt around this desert planet, and we're gonna widen it up if needed, but we really don't need to at the moment. But yeah, that is eventually the plan. I don't know what's out in space. Like we haven't actually looked at any of these stars yet, but I'm sure there's a planet where we're going to have either a solar belt or it's going to be tidally locked and we're just going to have a solar face. Preferably the latter. Okay, let's fill this up in case we need it. Also, I do actually have these on my list, so I don't know. I'm not going to bother with the logistics spots now. I'll have a think about that later. Yes, we play Dyson Sphere Program on Tuesdays. I usually play Oxygen Not Included, which is what I'm going to be playing for the rest of the week. But I am very determined to get a playthrough of this on stream, because I really enjoy this game, and I think it's majorly slept on. Like, when the 1.0 comes out, I think it's really going to blow up. So now the plasma exciters. So these require coils and prisms. So let's put those over here. Got space warpers. Woo. Let's see, that can go over here, and then the coils are just here. So they can come down here. And then we'll make another belt for these as well. Just run that like this. So we could fill this up with a little bit of plasma exciters. Yeah, exactly. Like I have a load of logistics spots back on the main planet where they're sending me all the raw materials, and the only ones I have set up here are for conveyor belts, like just for the level 1 belts. I could probably do one for the sorters as well, but the turbine production here is not particularly high, so I'm probably not going to bother. But yeah, we have the whole home planet decked out with logistic spots just for the raw materials of stuff that we occasionally need. Right, so now we have plasma exciters. So those are used for the oil buildings. We're definitely going to want to mass produce these, so we'll want steel. Or not mass produce them, but just like have a stockpile ready waiting for us. But let's do the power towers first, because they're here. So that means this should actually be a belt. which is fine. That one can just go like this. Then that can go back up here. Now, I think these are used for making the satellites. Do we actually have the research unlocked for the satellites? We can unlock it. Yeah, so they're made with wireless power towers, supermagnetic rings, and the frame material. So these satellites are pretty good. If you've got a really compact build and you can't fit Tesla towers around it, then you can just put one of these and it has a huge radius. You're working on a playthrough where you don't use the replicator after blue cubes. That's pretty impressive. So we'll make a belt for this as well. And that can just come down like here. So that's wireless power towers. Let's see. Let's make some steel. Where's the iron again? Iron is here. So we've got one belt for magnets, one belt for iron plates, a belt down here for the conveyor belt Mark 1s. Let's just reuse that one for the steel for this, because we're not going to need too much steel. This is going to annoy me. Yeah, I'm just going to put it here. So let's see. So these plates, when they're finished, they'll go over here. And then we'll make that into steel. And that should be 360 of iron, so that would be 120 of steel. It really surprises me that you don't use coal to make steel in this game. That's one thing I would have thought they would have done. So now we have a steel belt as well. So obviously a lot of buildings use steel. Way more than what's shown there. I could actually make a machine for pilers. That would be pretty neat. Let's do that. So, supermagnetic rings, processors, steel, and gears. So first of all, where are the processors? Processors are here. Supermagnetic rings. We've actually made some. Calais. So they're here. There's just gears and steel. Where the gears end up? We need gears for everything. Gears end up over here. And then there's just the steel. So let's take the processors out over here. My chat was so far unsatisfied with the amount of spaghetti we had, so we need to up the amount of spaghetti we have to meet the quota. Let's just raise this whole bit up here. That should do. So there's the processors, there's the things. The steel will come over here. So let's just send this back around here. So there's two challenges I think would be interesting for this game with belts. One, can you complete a Dyson Sphere without having belts go over the top of each other? Like, ever. I feel like that is possible if you're very clever. Much cleverer than me. You could probably just do it with sorters, to be honest. Or have a challenge where you're only allowed to use a certain length of belts. So then we just need to move all of these to meet up with the gears. So let's just bring the gears back there, I think. So gears can come back down here. At this point, I'm just going to start over again here. This seems fine. That can be... Also to do lazy bastard. Yes, you have to use a minimum number of belts. Yeah, you have to use at least 10 million belts. No more, no less. Well, you can use more if you want. Need to plug this in as well. That'll do. It's fine. So let's see. Yeah, I think that one's definitely possible. I would like to see someone do that. I don't think I'm going to do that myself, but whatever. So processors, I guess we'll just send those like here. This doesn't need too many of these resources. Steel can just come in here. No floating belts, yeah. And then gears can come this way. This assembly line is moving at the speed of thought, which for me is usually not very high. These pilots aren't used for anything else, so we can just hook this up directly. Do at least want a way for these. Belts to get out again. Yeah, like that. Ooh. Okay, so that'll make these. Hey, Silly Device, how you doing? No one's asked any questions about the planet names yet. I think they just rolled with it tonight. Yeah, we're making a bit of a mall. Not the world's most organized mall, but it is technically functioning. We're building a load of advanced buildings. We're going to come back to it later. And hopefully we'll have built everything we want. What about 45 minutes left? So we're going to keep going with this. And then I'm going to make a... Hopefully we'll get some charged accumulators and we can put our first gas giant collector in place. Yeah, what else requires steel? We could make storage Mark IIs, I guess. Where do we even put those? Nah, I'm not gonna bother. Storage Mark IIs suck. We're gonna set up our first pump on Avril, yes. I'm not gonna bother with the spray coaters because they require the microcrystalline components. Let's see. Fractionators we want to do. Let's do fractionators next. So let's see. We need steel, stone, glass, and processors. So that's processes. This is glass. We could probably just bend this around. Steel is coming in here. Right, I'm just going to put this here. We'll get this to work here somehow. Because we're going to be making a lot of these soon. So the glass is literally just going to come over here instead. I'll do that. I'm looking forward to the combat update. I really am. I'm very curious to see how the combat works, and from what I saw in the dev diary, I think it's going to be really interesting in that it's not going to get in the way of building stuff too much. Like that, it sounds to me like the dark fog or whatever it is going to start on the other side of the cluster, and you're only going to meet them once you start doing space warping, which by that point you're pretty prepared for things. So I think it's going to be really good. Right, so this is processes. That can actually go here, I guess. Let's move this forward one. And then we'll put this here. And now, yeah, glass is coming in there. So now we just need stone. Where's the stone? There's a stone. I can just bring this around. Seems fine. Let's just do something like this. Really? It's so annoying. There we go. Solved. So that should hopefully be some fractionators in a minute. Although, we need more processors first. Where are all the processors going? Oh, I'm an absolute fool. Look at this. we plugged it into the wrong end of the belt. That's something that takes some doing. Right. Let's change this. So that can come out of here. And then I guess we'll just bring it up here. Then I'm going to be very lazy. I'm literally just going to do it like this. No, not like that. Oh, whatever. I don't mind. I mean, at that point, you might as well just, like, do this. Yeah, that's fine. I've got a little bots thing here for this. Right, so now we're actually going to get a proper throughput of processors over to this line. That's good. Sometimes you just have to convince the belts to do what you want them to do, not what they think is the right way. Oh, I know. I'm just being lazy. It looked more fun before. I don't know. I quite like how that looks. You could get these belts stupidly high. Like, we could walk under this, which is pretty good. But you could actually have these just go straight into this, like, the stratosphere. Like, there's not really any limit. Like, look how high you can get these belts. Is there even a limit? there is an upper limit. I was gonna say, I've seen planets where people have made like a skybox out of belts with like colored science running through it. They can change the color of the sky. It gets ridiculous. We're not gonna go quite that far. Also, I hope that yeah, that does reset it. That's good. Right, so now we're backing up on processors. That's nice. Excellent. What's the next thing we want? Oh, we're out of power. Fuel cells. We'll go grab some more fuel cells. Actually, there should be some on here, shouldn't there? There are. Hello? I would like some fuel cells, please. Oh, I need to set the filter. Why? Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Yeah, it doesn't require any supports. The belt is just like structurally sound. As a civil engineer, I'm doubting the structural integrity of these belts, but it is what it is. Right, chemical plants is something we can make. Water pumps is something we can make. I think water pumps first. So iron, stone, motors, and circuit boards. We have iron here. Oh, I need to connect this back up this way. That is a thing. So iron. Oh wait, that's iron. This is stone. So iron, stone. Circuit boards are here. And then motors, which are they're just ending here. That wasn't very well thought out. Okay, so this can go here. And then we can continue the motors. Because we're going to want those for other things. Yeah, now we're getting some spaghetti. I'm even going to put this. What am I actually overstocked on? So stupid. There you go. I'm just going to send this over like this, and then we can bring it back down. Make it here. This could be water pumps. So the stone can just come in here. Options for floors like in Satisfactory. Oh man, I want to play Satisfactory at some point. There's so many games I want to play that I've just never got time for, sadly. It's basically just a case of, I have games. I have stuff I still want to do in those games. I'm probably not going to buy any more games until I've finished playing the ones that I've already got. Them's the breaks. Alright, so iron's coming over here. Let's bring the iron back this way. Going ham on the spaghetti now. There you go. I have to try Soviet Republic. Yes, I did see you post that. And then we have the motors coming over here. So I can just go like this. And then circuit boards are over here. I can bring those back down as well. At this point, I'm mostly doing this just to see at what point chat starts to tell me to stop making spaghetti. And it's amusing me at this point. Let's actually just raise this up here. So that requires a small amount of circuit boards, so that's okay. There you go. More spaghetti. If it works, it isn't done. I mean, to be honest, the main issue is it just uses a lot of belts. But once you have a factory that's producing you an infinite number of yellow belts, then it's not really an issue. Like the belts, here's the funny thing. Belts don't use power. Like, I understand why, from a gameplay point of view, you don't want belts using power. If they used power, you really wouldn't want to make massive amounts of spaghetti like this. But because they don't use power, it literally doesn't matter. It's more like linguine than spaghetti. Yeah, I like to take the lasagna approach to pipe spaghetti. Or pipe spaghetti, that's oxygen not included talk. Belt spaghetti. There you go. Now I got water pumps. Have we actually got any accumulators yet? No. Still waiting for the iron to get here. Wait. Oh, look. I hooked up the stone into the iron. That was not very smart. Well, that was kind of bound to happen. So that can go up here. This is the iron. No, this is this isn't iron. This is graphene. Great, good job, Matt. This is the iron. Let's see. I'm just gonna bring it this way. Whatever. There we go. You'd love to see a spiral point, but I guess there's no point to build them. A spiral belt. There is a glitch that people tend to do where they can fold belts back on themselves, like some kind of Mobius strip. So you can fit a turning belt into a one-tile bit. But I don't tend to do stuff like that. World's most efficient iron belt. Yeah, look, we're charging them. We're charging the accumulators. And then the charged ones come out of here, and they go in the storage box. And then we could use those. I mean, you're supposed to use them to exchange power between planets and between stars. But we're going to use them to make the gas giant collector. We need 20 of them. We need... What else do we need? We need 50 super magnetic rings. I think we have those at this point. Where are they? I just straight up didn't make a storage for these. Really? Okay. Well, I guess we'll just take them off the belt then. No, that's stupid. Let's make a storage for those. What is this? I definitely had some kind of brain fart there. So let's see. I can just come under here. And then we can store them in here up to a point. Oh, we need to move the circuit board belt as well. There you go, that'll do. No, it won't. It's facing the wrong way. Nice. Oh, God. There we go. And then we just need the coils to come back down here. So you know what I'm going to do at this point. I'm going to get those going here. And then I'll send them back this way. And then we'll hook those up like this. Right, so now we're actually storing some super magnetic things for later. But for now, I am literally just going to go and grab them off the belt because we can. So grab 50 of these. 51, whatever. So now we just need the accumulators, which we have here. There you go. Now we can make a gas giant collector, and that will take another 500 seconds. It's going to make all the turbines. Now, we could just pick up the turbines from somewhere else, but I am actually kind of... like, I'm looking for that to be the last thing I do, so I don't mind waiting today. Right, what else can we make? So, chemical plants. Steel, stone, glass, and circuit boards. So we have glass here. Circuit boards here. Stone here. Then we just need the steel, which is here. Okay. So we can definitely make this here. You're starting to work my way up to a Celtic knot with my belts. Excellent. That's what I'm going for today. It's for all the people who said that we didn't do enough spaghetti. So let's see. This can actually just go... You know what? I'm just going to take it like this. The game has just stopped playing music. It's just like, it's just not impressed anymore. It's just like, this is too much spaghetti, Matt. You have to stop. It's not reasonable. Steel. Then stone and circuit. Stone and glass. So that's stone here. We can actually just take the end of this line. You know, like a normal person. Go over here. And then the glass we'll just take over here. There we go. I didn't have to do it like that, but I just thought it was funny. Let's see. So Silly Device is not impressed by the pattern of this particular belt. Right, there we go. Chemical plants are being made 9 per minute. Seems good. Why isn't this making things? Because we're not getting any motors. That's fine. Motors definitely seems to be the constraint. It's fine. Got another 5 minutes on this. Is there another one I can do? Oil related stuff? Probably a good idea. The fusion plant requires alloy, so probably not going to bother with that yet. Probably, yeah, probably just the oil extractor. So steel, stone, boards, and plasma exciters. So stone, steel, boards. Then we just need plasma exciters, which are over here. So that seems fairly reasonable. So that can go like this. The lack of foresight is starting to show. I'm not gonna lie. Why actually are these belts going up here? That's not connected to anything at this point. Just gonna disconnect this. And we'll send it, oh, I don't know. Send it this way. That makes sense. Then this one will just send up manually. And I can come down here. These circuit boards will need to reconnect over here, which is fine. Oh, wait, no. Actually, no, that's fine. We can just remove this and go like this. So the stone goes in there. What happens on resources in the belt when it gets deconstructed? They go into my inventory, and then if there's bots, they'll take them back to the relevant storage if there's too many of them in my inventory. But that's not happening here. That'll happen on the other planet. Plasma exciters are next. We did have the foresight to make a belt for these. So I can come down here. And I guess we'll just do it like this. And then that can go here. So that's oil extractors. And then the oil refineries need the exact same things. Well, that's kind of unsatisfying. Also, I just realized I built these on like on a complete squiff compared to these. Whatever. Right. Let's see. I'm not even going to pretend this is organized anymore. Oil refinery. You know what? I don't even need to send this here. We can just take it straight off this. And then the steel can come down here. The circuit boards and the stone. So the stone can go over here. And then the circuit boards will... At this point, I'm just going to send the circuit boards here. I'm being very silly now. Actually, you know what? There we go. Right. We're gonna need to re-add a stone pickup for chemical plant production. Yes, you're correct. Good spot. Right, so circuit boards, stone. We need to pick up the circuit boards. Then plasma exciters can get excited. Okay, so they're already going in. They're just not being made at the moment. Because there's not any coils coming on, because they're all being used. That's okay. So this should make the oil refineries as well. That's good. Yeah, those oil refineries are a pain. We're obviously not going to be making the particle colliders here. Yeah, these buildings are all a bit more advanced. I could make logistics distributors here. And I should actually make logistic drones at some point. I think we'll do that. I think we'll do that next week. We'll finish this off with the logistics drones, and then we'll. I guess we'll get purple science done at this point. Yeah, let's go place our gas giant thing down. Let's actually fly up. That would be a good idea. Also, any more scientists to research? We'll look at that in a minute. Right. It doesn't really matter where I build this, I suppose. Well, I guess I'll build it over here. I'll build it so that we can see the planet from it. That's trippy. Because of how fast the gas giant is rotating, we're flying this way, but the sun is setting on us. No, come back. Right. So, gas giant collector. You can only build these on the equator, as the game says. But here's the equator. Let's sail back around to the sunny side quickly. Oh my god. Getting confused. Right, where's the planet? Indicator time. Perhaps I'm worrying about this too much. There's the planet. So we'll land here. I said we'll land here. Land. Right, okay. Put it, Now we're nowhere near the equator. What happened? Yeah, I'm running out. We need better fuel for, like, doing this. Definitely, get a few more of these made now we're making accumulators, and then we'll, start making nuclear fuel. But you know what I mean. Right, okay. Here we go. Let's just build it here. There we go. You built your first orbital collector on Avril Lavigne. Very nice. So there's some pretty complicated maths that goes into how many resources these actually produce. Because the gas giant has a certain rate that it tells you here. So it says 0.6 per second of fire ice and 0.2546 of hydrogen. It gives you the actual rate that it's collecting at here. And I believe this is affected by your veins utilization and how much like fuel it's consuming to keep itself in orbit. But I mean, it gives you the actual number you need here, which is something like 4 times what it's saying these numbers are, more or less. So obviously these are going to be remote supply. And what will happen is, if we have any logistics stations on the planets that require fire ice or hydrogen, they'll just collect it from here. Right, let's get a picture of us with the thing. Not sure what the best looking thumbnail will be. I don't know. Maybe I'll turn the indicator off. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, there we go. I like it. There's no actual shot of the gas giant though. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. Alright, cool. Well, we built one of these. Let's go collect the resources to make more. Let's go grab a load of titanium alloy. Then we'll get a load of those queued up. And then next week we'll get the logistics drones done on the queue. Logistics bots done on the queue. And then we'll do the fractionator and we'll make a load of nuclear fuel. I usually skip that. I'm usually naughty. I go into space without nuclear fuel. Titanium alloy. We've already got some in here. Looks like we are grabbing it. No, wait, one more of these. We'll just let these continue filling us up for a little bit. But yeah, this is my home planet. I haven't actually been here all day today. Which is surprising. So we have a load of logistics bots here. Almost the whole equator is covered in wind turbines. So we're generating a decent amount of power here. We have all of our science production lines, which are proliferated with level 2 proliferator. And what else do we have here? We have a conveyor belt factory. We have a wind turbine factory. Obviously all of the science production. We have oil refinery. We have sulfuric acid here. Mostly just for titanium alloy production. Yeah, the power generation here is similar to on the desert planet. Let's make another one of those. So we're getting about 60 per minute hydrogen and about 135 fire ice per minute per collector. So I reckon 6 is the number we're aiming for gas giant collectors. And then we'll get one full yellow belt of hydrogen from them, assuming the logistics vessels are fast enough. And we'll get one We'll get a little more than two full belts of fire ice, which will be our thermal generator fuel, or whatever else we need it for. Alright, is there anything else I wanted to show off here? Actually, hold on. Yeah. Drop your stuff off. There you go. Not really. We have fuel cells everywhere. Guess we just need to go get more accumulators. Yeah, fill me up. That's 3. You can see how long this is taking us to make all these turbines and particle containers, but that's fine, because we're not going to need to fabricate anything else for a while now that we've got all that stuff being manufactured on the desert planet. So we can just save our replicator queue for these big buildings. It's 4. Quite close to the center of where all of these guys are going, so we are getting filled up fairly quickly. Yeah, I think we've done alright today. It's been a nice relaxed stream. Actually, now's probably a good time to talk about my plans for tomorrow. So, I finished the presentation that I'm going to use as the basis for my Oni video. I'm going to make a proper video for the YouTube channel. And so here we go. No, not caps. I do have some discussion videos on my YouTube, mostly about oxygen not included. We've done some tier lists and a few discussion videos like how to power like loads of oil wells. And I've got a video that I'm planning about all the different starting asteroid situations and the pros and cons of each of them. I was originally going to do a tier list, but I didn't think it made much sense doing a tier list, because like you pick them based on what you want. Like if one's more difficult than the other, that's because you want it to be. So I just made like a presentation where I run through it instead. So I put that all together. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do that live. So I'll start the stream at either 7 or 7:30. I'll put it on just chatting, and we'll have like a little fish update and stuff. And then I'll actually do the discussion, and people from chat can give their input on it. And that'll probably take like about an hour. I don't want it to go the whole stream. I want it to be like an hour-long video. So probably about like 3 minutes per starting situation. And then we'll move on to something else. So probably either Oni for a little bit, or maybe some Noita. I don't know. I'm looking for a chance to finish that Noita run. Also, why aren't we... What's going on here? Are we out of something we haven't got on this planet? We are. We're out of graphene. There's the graphene. I mean, obviously it's on the other planet. Let's go fly to the ice planet quickly. We haven't been there today. Oh, rip, you've only been into 3 different starts. Yeah, I mean, I think I've done most of the starts. The only starts that I'm not really familiar with are the spaced out ones where you start on either like Tyrannia, Folia, or Quagmyrus. Actually, no. I did a Quagmyrus run. That was the first run I did on stream, I think. Either that... No, it wasn't the first run I did on stream. It was the first run I did in Spaced Out. I might have streamed it. That would have been ages ago, though. But I haven't done a Tyrannia or a Folia start. But it's actually quite interesting, because the starting asteroid on those Spaced Out clusters is actually pretty big, like compared to like the Flip Moonlet, the Metallic Asteroid, etc. There's a decent amount of space. It's a pretty good middle ground that I didn't really consider that much for like a run. I'm quite tempted to just do a foliar asteroid run at some point now that I've thought about it. But the main reason that I'm doing that video is because the info on the wiki is quite out of date and incomplete at this point. So I wanted to make my own reference for it, and then I thought I should probably share this with people. And maybe I'll update the wiki, I don't know. I don't know how that works exactly. Right, we can make one more with that. And then I presume we just need more iron and stuff again. That's fine. I don't think we put any power towers here. I can just put some down. I'm just going to make like a little charging bit here. Especially now that we're mass producing these. Yeah, so we'll give chat a chance to contribute to that discussion and see what people's thoughts are. And also, that way, if I make a blatant mistake, you guys can let me know, and we can correct it then and there, rather than in the comments. I don't think I will, but who knows. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. To be honest, it's been a long time coming. I've been working on it for ages. Right, yeah, let's go back to Celine Dion. And then we just need to queue up one more of... Oh, actually, we only needed to queue up 5. Okay, so we're actually done on that front. Now we just need more supermagnetic rings, more titanium alloy again, and more charged accumulators. So we'll grab the titanium alloy, and then we'll go back to the desert planet. And hopefully get these made. Oh yeah, don't miss the planet. If you miss the planet at 2,000 meters per second and you're like out of energy, it takes ages to like come back. Right, titanium ingot. Let's go fly over to that again. Where am I going? Oh god. Ugh. I'm honestly surprised I don't get motion sick doing that. We have so much titanium ingot stored up in here. You know what? I'm just gonna nick this. I'm gonna try. There you go. Nick it from the bots. Definitely not what you're supposed to do. They're coming for me. They're coming for my titanium. Wait, let's cheese it. Right, back to the desert planet. So we got a little bit of a wait on that. Yeah, this game's really pretty. Occasionally, I literally just go into sandbox mode and like warp to random star systems and just fly around and admire the scenery. Like, I have Universe Sandbox on my computer, and occasionally I play around with that, but these days I just fly into this game and just muck around on Sandbox. I don't even build anything, I just wander around and like take pictures. Especially now that they've added the atmosphere effects. A lot of planets are very pretty. Yeah, here we go. We're back. Landed right on top of our giant factory. So let's see. Accumulators. How many of those have we got? None. Great. Love it. You love to see it. Oh, because I nicked all the... Because I nicked all of these? Did I just not reconnect that? Where are all the super magnetic rings? This didn't quite get filled up. There's not enough turbines going in here. You know what? Put those not in there. Put those in here, and then grab those. And we make any of these? No, because we need the accumulators. Let's just load the accumulator thing in. I think realistically, I just need to come back at some other point. I've only just started the sandbox save and messing around in. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Like, I don't sandbox most games. Like, I don't sandbox Oni. Sandbox Dyson Sphere Program is pretty fun. God, that's gonna take absolutely ages if I do it like this. You know what? Just this once, I'm gonna put a green assembly machine here. Because we can. I'm looking forward to mostly just using these green assembly machines everywhere. There you go. Found out that there's a point where you should just stop researching the flight speed increase for bots, drones, vessels. But really? Why is that? I know you can repeat those texts quite a lot. Soviet sandbox is very fun too. Fair enough. Okay. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. It's going to take a while for us to make all these accumulators, and realistically I just need to get on with something else in the meantime. We'll start setting up the fractionation next week, and then by the time that's finished we'll probably have enough accumulators to make the rest of the actual collectors that will fuel it. So yeah, that was fun. Always like playing a little bit of Dyson Sphere Program. So yes, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate the company. Glad I'm feeling well again, and it's always nice hanging out with you guys. It's nice to see some new faces around here too. I don't see too many people streaming Dyson Sphere Program, but I feel like it's absolutely gonna pop off, and I enjoy playing it a lot. So I'm going to be playing it at least once a week. But yeah, if you're still here from Max's raid earlier, thanks so much for coming. Do appreciate it. Big fan of Max's channel. It keeps me sane during the end of the workday. I usually stream from 7:30 to 10:30 GMT-ish, although it's daylight savings at the moment, so it's GMT +1. I am looking to move that forward earlier, so that I'm streaming from 7 till 10. Because I need to get to bed earlier. I've figured it out. And I'm going to see if I can do that, but it mostly just depends on when I can get everything else done during the day. But we mostly play Oxygen Not Included. Some Dyson Sphere Program, some Noita, a few other things. Yeah, if you ever miss a stream, VODs are on Twitch, but I upload everything to YouTube. There's VODs, there's discussion videos, there's meme videos, mostly Oxygen Not Included related stuff at the moment. But maybe some Dyson Sphere Program stuff will go up in future, like discussion of that. But I'm kind of waiting for early access to finish before I do that. We have a Discord channel where we hang out and we post builds and memes and show off silly things in the games that we play. And then, what's the other one? Oh yeah, follow me on Twitch and then you'll know when I go live and what I'm playing. I mean, I'll tell everyone on the Discord as well, but that's the It's the best way of doing it. You have silly devices. Yeah, that's exactly right, Leofar. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Not really sure who I'm going to raid. Let me have a look. Let's see who's on. We're probably not going to go raid anyone playing Dyson Sphere Program. I'm not sure how many people are playing it at the moment. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. Hold on. I found someone who's playing Dyson Sphere Program after mishandling beavers. So presumably they've died on Timberborn as well. So I'm gonna go raid this random person, and we're gonna go say hi. So it is Dragoness. So hopefully they accept raids. If you have any fishy emotes, feel free to spam them at them, and we're gonna go raid them in like 10 seconds. So thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do the Oni video, and then I don't know what I'll do, something short. But yeah, see you soon. Bye for now.